What's good, Black Conscious and Freaky family? We back for another discussion video. This time we doing the 6 laws of eating pussy. I'm joined with my man Nick. He's gonna be hosting me on this one. We're gonna, flow real nice in this. How you doing today, Nick?
Hey, how you doing, brother? I'm all right, man. Doing great.
Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and dive right into it. We're gonna start off at number 6, which is take your time. Now, see, a lot of guys rush in thinking all they got to do is lick or whatever, suck, rub, do all these different things. But it's important to take your time. And what I mean, take your time is don't just hop right onto the clit. I mean, get her wet first. Kiss her, kiss between her thighs, her inner thighs, kiss on, top of her vagina, the mound part, kiss all over her nipples, get her real relaxed first. Get her nice and relaxed. And then, you dive right into it. A lot of guys, just dig in and start feasting like it's fucking Thanksgiving. No, you got to take your time. You got to relax. There's no point to rush. I feel like if you're rushing, then just wait till another time until you're free. Take your time. What are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, exactly. The areas that you're talking about are what they consider the erogenous zones: the neck, parts of the neck, the nipples of the woman, even some men. Down the middle of the stomach, the inner thighs, and things of that nature. So yeah, it's best to start off with the erogenous zones, work your way through. I mean, with some women, some parts of the women, like the back of their neck or the middle of the back, because I've met a couple of women where if you kiss them in the middle of their back in certain areas, it causes a tingle. So yeah, learning where the erogenous zones at first, and to get even deeper, getting to know the person. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cause
some dudes, I ain't gonna lie, man. I almost got in a fight with my homeboy for this. And here's what went down. It was a dude who we knew that like we were all chilling, we smoking or whatever. You know what I mean? You know how people, roll a J and we chilling. And one of the dudes, I found out later that he was known for like just going down on women. Like he'll meet a female and then like 2 to 3 days later he going down on her. And in fact, one like sort of known freak or whatever that some of the brothers we done kind of smashed or whatever, sort of took our turns with, she was like, oh, he went down on me the first date or whatever. And I looked at my homeboy who we smoked with. I'm like, hey, man, why you ain't warning me about this dude, man? I literally wanted to fight my homeboy. But bottom line, you can't be running around here doing it to everybody, going down quicker than the Titanic like that or whatever. You got to get to know somebody. Me, I don't necessarily do that unless it's with somebody that is that special. Period.
I agree. I agree. Taking your time is the most important thing. From my experience, kissing around a woman's neck, like you said, could be like a hot zone. And I know that I'm doing right when I kiss around a woman's neck and she gets goosebumps. I already know, as soon as that happens, I know that I'm on the right track with that. But I'm glad you talked about moving too fast. And that brings us into our next number 5, which is get it tested. Now, I know a lot of guys are gonna be like, man, I ain't doing that shit, man. That's some dumb shit. It's very important that you get it tested, because all these different diseases out here, all these different sexually related diseases like HIV, herpes, hepatitis, all these different things. It's very important that you get it tested, not only for yourself, but for your future. If you give a chick here, you might not talk to her again in life, but she might leave you with a disease that lasts you for the rest of your life, like herpes or AIDS or something like that. So
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because they say that you're supposed to use the dental dam or use saran wrap if you don't have access to a dental dam, but not too many people thinking about all that. Like most brothers who I know, they'll get the condom all day or whatever, but in terms of like protection for the mouth, most people don't really think about all that. So yeah, it's best to get checked out if you and that woman are willing to take it to that level of intimacy. You know what I mean? I get the feeling it's going to take some sort of disease where it says your neck will cave in. You know what I mean? In order for people to even think about that. But yeah,
I agree.
Definitely get checked, bro.
And like I said, our last discussion we had, a lot of women will get offended when you say get it tested. I've had chicks that say, "Oh, you think I'm a dirty bitch? Or you think I'm nasty or something like that?" It's not about that. It's about, first of all, you could be lying. You know, I don't, especially if it's a new relationship. I don't know you, you don't know me. You should want me to get tested. You know, we both should get tested. If you don't, if you think it's an issue, let's both get tested together. You know. But moving on into our next topic, it's going to be our next our number is going to be number, what's that, 4, right? Which is mastering the clit. A lot of, like I said before in the beginning, a lot of guys don't take their time, but it's important that you master the clit. The clit has like the most nerves in it inside of the vagina. It's the most sensitive part of a woman's vagina, and so it's very important that you master that. I mean, you can make a woman come just by simply licking on it the right way. You know, I'm not even talking about like G spots or anything like that. I'm just talking about the clit. You know, I've made women come just by looking on their clit for 10 to 20 minutes. So it's very important that you master that. It's very important that not only that, but you don't rush into it. You take, you know, slow, deliberate, deep strokes when you lick it and rub it. And while you're licking it and rubbing it, you can also penetrate her with your fingers or a toy or whatever you're into.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get real deep when it comes down to the clitoris or whatever. See, the clitoris area or whatever. And the reason why I say area, because believe it or not, it's 2 nerves when it comes to the clitoris, 2 spots. The clitoris itself, and there's a spot just above the clitoris that's called the frenulum. This I found out doing my book VIP Confessions, and a woman, a lady friend of mine who I came across or whatever, she didn't necessarily ask me to lick on the clitoris or whatever. She told me to wet my finger and rub above it. And I thought it was kind of weird. I'm like, you don't want me to rub on the clit? And then later on, along with doing this book, kind of found out that's called the frenulum. So if you know how to work the clit, like somehow adjust your tongue to work the clit and the frenulum at the same time, that is what will help bring them over the edge.
I agree. That brings us into our next number, which is, and it's kind of synonymous with mastering the clit, which is getting it wet. Licking the clit, you know, stimulating the clit will actually get it wet. Actually, taking it back a little before that, just kissing on a woman, like you said, kissing on her hot zones and things like that will get her wet. But you know, in my opinion, once I see a woman starting to get wet from what I'm doing, to me that's like motivation. That's like you're on track, you're doing the right shit. And it's not that hard to get a woman wet. I mean, you can kiss on her neck, kiss on her back, like you mentioned earlier, suck on her clit. You know, every woman is different, but it's pretty easy to get a woman wet. I feel like if you are about to have sex with a woman and you're not getting her wet, or she's not wet already, you're not doing something right, or she's not feeling you. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. She's just laying there and you kissing on her or whatever. 2 things: you're not touching her spots right, or you're not touching her spots right, or she's not feeling you, or she probably thought that you were cute or whatever. And then when it got into it, she was like, "Nah, I'm not really feeling this dude as like I thought I was." You know, that's why, you know, going back to getting to know somebody. That's why one of the repeat things that I realized with the book I'm helping to write or whatever, with the sex tips, communication is key. Asking a woman while y'all getting to know each other where she likes to be touched and kissed will help you save a lot of headache. Forget all that dumb shit about how some women be like, "Oh, you a man, you should know what I want," as if I can read minds. Forget about that dumb shit. You better ask questions. You know what I mean? Seek and ye shall find, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of guys don't do that. They just dive right into it and say, "Fuck it, I know what I'm doing." Because you got to think about this: what works on one woman might not work on another woman. So
exactly.
if you ask her in advance, like, you know, what are your hot spots? What do you like? What don't you like? Especially what don't you like? You know, I've been with women that like when you like whisper in their ear and put your tongue in their ear, and there's been other women that find that shit gross. So you have to get to know what a woman likes, and, you know, make sure that what you're doing is what she actually wants. But I know a lot of guys don't do that. They just dive right in because they think they had sex with a couple chicks and now they masters. They might have watched a couple porns and now they think they, you know, fucking the next porn star, the next Ron Jeremy or something like that. But it's not that easy. Like you said, communication is important.
Yeah, I remember a girlfriend I was with or whatever. You know, she was like pretty much one of the only few people that I actually went down on like that. But I've done it enough times with her, trying different moves and stuff like that. Like we experimented a lot. So she was pretty much my guinea pig or whatever. And you know, one of the things that to add on what you're saying, like she never liked being kissed on her ear. Like I'd worked the neck and the nipples and stuff like that. But I remember the first time I tried to go for her ear, she literally hit me with a stiff arm. Like she Heisman Trophy my ass away from the ear or whatever. So yeah, don't just jump in thinking you know everything. Like really just take your time getting an understanding.
Right, I agree. Now next number is going to be watch out for fake squirters. Now this is something that I've seen before, whereas though a woman might say, yeah, I can squirt, yeah, I can do all this, I can do all these tricks and shit like that. But come to find out, first of all, let me say this: most women do not squirt. A lot of guys just never get a woman to squirt. I read a study before we did this podcast, and it said most women do not squirt. Most women have never squirted in their entire lives. And I think what really is happening is that the porn industry is fucking up the game and making it seem like a lot of women can squirt when they can't. If you just look at porn, you think that, you know, porn kind of distorts your perception of sex. Like before I had sex and I just was watching porn, I thought all types of shit. Like you lick a woman clit and she just squirt in your face and you got to duck and dive and all types of crazy shit like that. That shit is not true at all. So women who say they can squirt, I'm not saying that they are lying, but I've seen women say they can squirt and it was actually piss. So let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. If a woman squirts and it's yellow, that's not the color it's supposed to be. From what I've seen and what I've heard, women who squirt, it's usually either clear, like that discharge is usually clear, or like slightly cloudy. But if it's yellow, then she's not coming. Like that's piss. And you should, I mean, obviously you should be able to smell it. If you squirt and it's yellow, that's not piss. It's not cum. It's not lemonade. It's piss. So just watch out for that.
Yeah, and if it smells funny, she had asparagus. That's all I got to say.
That is true. And you know, I never knew that. It took me going to Red Lobster one time and eat some asparagus to find out that asparagus makes your piss stink. I never knew that.
Yeah. You know what? That should be a test. Like, okay, you take her out on a date, she eat the asparagus, you see if she can squirt. If it smells funny, slap her in the face. She done pissed. She done R. Kelly'd your ass.
This is a personal pet peeve of mine, this next one, which is hairy is scary. Now, a lot of people will argue, especially in the conscious and pro-black community, that shaving is a European thing, and that could be true. I haven't really done research into it, but it could be true. It could possibly be true. All I can say is I personally feel like hair contains odor, and hair can contain, you know, just filth, so to speak. So I'm not saying you have to be completely bald, but at least trim it. You know, I've seen women where they had hair all between their legs, up between their ass cheeks, and up on around that belly button and shit, looking like a damn wolf. So I'm just saying, if you got a wolf pussy, you might want to shave that because it just doesn't look right, and to me it's unsanitary.
It ain't gotta be bald to where it has razor bumps or anything like that, but you know, trim it down some. I mean that it's cool to keep the grass cut. It ain't gotta be scorched earth. Just give it a little fade or something. Now, if you wanna quote unquote keep it all the way natural or whatever, it doesn't hurt to trim it a little bit. Not asking you to shave it bald or anything like that, because the thing with hair is when it comes down to working the clit, sometimes, depending upon how hairy a woman is, the hair will get on a man's tongue and kind of get in the way. Period. I mean, pretty much your pubic hair is cock blocking, if you, or excuse me, tongue blocking your enjoyment.
Right, true. Let me tell you this little story. When I was working, when I used to live in Baltimore, I used to work with this woman, and she said, she, she was natural. She was like one of these like conscious chicks that like never shaved, didn't believe in shaving, didn't, she had dreads and all that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. But what creeped me out was that she told me the story how when she was younger, she used to braid her pussy hair, and that would like get her to go to sleep. So I'm like, your pussy hair was so long that you could braid it up. That's to me, that's gross. I don't. If I'm giving a chick head, I don't want to feel like I'm putting my fucking face into a man's beard. I don't want that feeling. And not only that, but pussy hair in general can hurt. Like hair is like little like threads of wire almost. Like how like one of these assassin movies and shit like that, like Hitman, where they take that rope and they bring it around somebody's neck and like choke them to death.
Yeah, razor wire. Yeah.
Right. Hair can be like that, where you giving somebody head and you're like, oh shit, man, what the fuck was that? Like you giving a chick head and her hair like rub you the wrong way, and you feel like a damn near razor went across your face or something like that. So giving somebody head that has a lot of hair can actually be dangerous as well. But just to recap, definitely take your time. Don't rush into it. Enjoy the process. Sex is meant to feel good. Sex is meant to be an experience and, to me, an emotional and physical connection. So if you have to rush through it, maybe you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Sex should be enjoyable, so definitely take your time. Get it tested. No one wants. I don't know too many people around here that want AIDS. Has anybody said, you know what, the next chick I give head to, I want to get AIDS? Has anybody ever said that shit? Nobody says that. So definitely get it tested. Every chick out here is not clean, and ladies too. Get your guy tested. I know a lot of people don't do this, but they have free clinics out here. Get that person tested because you might regret it later. Master the clit. The clit has the most nerves in it. The clit is one of the most sensitive parts on a woman's body besides her breasts and other key areas like her neck and back. So definitely master the clit. Take your time on it. Do some research on it. Maybe read some Kama Sutra books. Definitely master the clit. Getting it wet is obviously connected to mastering the clit. What were you about to say, Nick?
Yeah, get to know that person inside and out, straight up and down. Take your time. Take a few months to get to know them if needed. Because like I said earlier, I've only done it to just pretty much one girlfriend or whatever, but we experimented like a mug. Trust me on this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I even got a technique or whatever I can break down to you or whatever, but I'll say that for another time or for who the next queen I lay up with. But bottom line, before we got into it, like, because prior to meeting her or whatever, I was just I ain't gonna lie, I was tiling at females and see if I can knock them down or whatever. But with her, what made her special, we literally took 7 months to get to know each other. Like, we really took our time vibing. It was all innocent pretty much. And then when it got down to it, that's when we went all out. I knew her, she knew me, she knew my test results, I knew her test results, and everything was everything,
Right. Sound cool. And definitely, like I said before, watch out for squirters. Not every woman out here can squirt. Squirting to me is rare. It's pretty rare. I've only come across maybe like 1 or 2 women that can actually quote unquote squirt.
See what the porno industry does, like you brought up, saying that it kind of messed up the perception of how saying that making it seem like every woman can squirt. They go out and find women who can squirt. It's just like, if you notice, they pretty much use the same guy stars or whatever, because they have the required equipment and stamina and all that. They pretty much get the same people to do the same thing over and over again. It's pretty much what they do with these squirting. They go after the porn stars who can really do that. You know what I mean? Just like how whenever they do like they looking for Mandingo Warrior dude or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's usually like 5 or 6 guys in the same flick for like the next 15, 20 years. Okay, Mandingo dude, okay, we got a list of 6. will holler at them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the same thing with squirters. You know?
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I had like a little, I want to say like short stint in the porn industry, not actually in it, but just recording. I recorded things for people, and it was this one chick, I forget her name. She's not really well known, but she's out there. I used to record for this company called Sin 69 Studios that's out of Baltimore, and I've actually seen the process of a woman squirting. I saw this chick. What she did was she got a bottle of Aquafina, and she like put the tip of the bottle in her pussy, and she squeezed all the water out in there. And she kind of somehow sucked it up or held it in there, and then she like sat back until it like went like kind of ran down inside of her, deeper inside of her. And then, after that scene was over, she went and she like, I guess she just felt like she pushed it out like she was pissing, and that shit just flew like halfway across the room. And I was like, wow. So a lot of times in the porn industry, they aren't actually like squirting. Like the guy doesn't actually fuck them until they squirt. They, might do that last and actually have like the chick put water in her body and then push it out.
Yeah. It's just like whenever they be doing like certain scenes where the guy supposedly came in a cup and she drank it, is really just
that should be turkey gravy.
Yeah, that or pina colada juice or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much the same process, but instead she's putting water in there and manipulating the scene, making it think that she can erupt like a waterfall.
Speaking of that shit, I've never been turned on by that type of shit, like drinking cum. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, if you into that, obviously there's nothing wrong with that, but I just never really got into that type of shit. Like, to me, that's like next level freaky type shit. It's just unnecessary for me. No,
yeah, exactly.
Coming in the chick mouth, like, she give me head and I'm coming in her mouth. That shit feels good, but actually like coming in a cup and watching her drink like a couple ounces of my cum, I mean, that shit don't do it.
It's just I don't know about all that. I'm cool. I always thought that shit was sort of disgusting myself, man.
No, this is a kind of a bonus, but I've read this and also experienced this where certain women can eat certain foods and it'll have their vagina tasting like different things. And I've heard like pineapples and strawberries and different fruits can have
mango.
Is it mango? Okay, so certain fruits can have a woman's vagina tasting and smelling different ways. And I know from experience that some women who eat like onions and stuff like that, their vagina can smell like or taste like onions. So be careful.
Garlic.
Be careful when you go on that date. Be careful when you take out on a date. Don't take out to a steakhouse and get an onion salad and a half a rack of ribs, and then you go home and try to give her head, and her pussy smell like a cheesesteak. So
exactly. Right, you're smelling like JoJo's Rib Shack in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
What were you saying about mangoes?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at this one dude or whatever. He kind of had his own little podcast. He was in porno for a while. I think his name was Ace, and he was in a little over 100 pornos in like the early 2000s or whatever. You know what I mean? So if you see him, you'll probably kind of recognize his face. And he was saying how if you want your sperm as a man to taste good, and it also works for women as well, because you remember one woman, she took care of her body. I think it was Naomi Banks. He was saying how she takes care of her body, she works out, and she, salads and she juices her she makes her own juices and stuff like that. It ain't just store-bought stuff or whatever. She really lives as natural as possible. And when he went down on her, he was like, wow, it tastes great. And then he heard it works for men too. And when he was working out a lot, he said that he used to have a bunch of like mango smoothies and banana smoothies and stuff like that, along with drinking a lot of water and just eating as much plant-based foods as possible. And when he it exploded in a woman's mouth or whatever, climaxed in a woman's mouth, she was like, this tastes like berries. He was like, okay, the mango and berries and all that he's been drinking, it proved true.
Delicious pussy, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
One thing I wanted to one other thing I wanted to talk about was and I actually posted this in the group. I don't think too many people responded to it, but I actually posted this in the group like last week. But some people, like if you look at some porn tapes and shit like that, people actually it's people out here that spit on like that. Like a chick will be giving a dude head, or a dude will be giving a chick head, and like they spit on the shit to lubricate it. I don't know, like if people are really into that. Like, I don't know if people really do that in real life, but I always found that shit to be disgusting. Like, for example,
it's gotta be heat of the moment situation. I'm gonna let you know right off top. It's like you're in the mood, y'all getting it on. You know what I'm saying? The passion level is high. You know, and y'all kissing and all that, and it gets down to that point, and it feels good to her, and it feels good to you because you're doing it to her, and she's feeling good, and you could tell that she's reacting in the way that you want. And in the middle of all that, sometimes you'll just do that. Like you feel some extra saliva build up because of you being down there or whatever. You'll just boom, spit it out to lubricate it and keep going. And hell, to some women that shit is a turn on because they like, wow, this dude is nasty. He going above and beyond to make me nut. But that's only if the passion and the connection is there. You know what I mean? You can't just do that. Like this your first time having sex with a woman and you going down on her like that. Don't just spit on her like that. She might look at you sideways, you know?
Right, like, come here, bitch. Just
like, yeah, you fuck around and catch an elbow to the nose, trying to be Lexington Steele out here and shit.
I've only seen that type of shit like with white. I feel like that's white people shit to me. I know black people obviously do that, but to me that's some white shit. Like, come here, daddy, let me spit on your dick, like, and just start spitting on your dick. Like, get that shit out of here. I don't want that. Yeah, I don't want no damn. I mean, obviously, if the chick is giving you head or you giving her head, spit is gonna get on your shit. I mean, that's obvious. But just to be like the fucking hawk spit, like fuck that shit. That shit is gross. I mean, it's just gross, and I feel like it's unsanitary. I feel like if you need lubrication, go out and get you some fucking KY jelly, or get yourself some of that that lube that you can actually taste, like that flavored lube. Get yourself some of that. But that spitting, that shit never did anything for me. That was just like gross, especially that hawk spit where it's like white. Ugh, the fuck.
Yeah, like I said, it all depends on the level of passion and the mood that you're in, or whatever, that connection that you have with somebody. But in terms of them just when we first meet and they spitting on it and all that, like where they and all that. See, all right, if a woman's doing that to me, and she's like, you know, giving me head or whatever, and it builds up, the saliva builds up, and she's spitting out what's built up. All right, cool, you can give that a pass because, you know, that's just her putting in work. You know what I mean? Giving sloppy top, you know. But if she just get started and she spits, I'm gonna be like, okay, oh, do you got a cold and you get, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm gonna kind of look at her sideways, you know.
Yeah, I agree. That shit is gross. Another thing that we should probably talk about before this thing is over is biting. Now, I know from a woman's perspective, like when a woman is giving a man here, it's best to tuck her lips over her teeth so she doesn't actually like accidentally bite or scratch his dick with her teeth. But from a man's perspective, giving a woman head, and I can admit to this too. Like I've given women head and accidentally like bit their clit or bit a part of them. They're like, oh shit, and that just ruined the whole entire moment. So that kind of brings you back into take your time. If you're taking your time, then you probably won't, you know, obviously bite the chick, but beware of that. I've had that situation where, you know, I'm thinking I'm doing something, I accidentally bite her, and she's like, man, fuck this shit. I'm completely out the mood now, and this shit is over.
I've only had one woman scathed it or whatever, just a little bit, and you know, I ain't gonna lie, man. I put my palm out and pushed her on her collarbone area and just pushed her back, like, whoa, hey, whoa, stop. You know what I mean? Go slow. And then when she went slow, then built up speed. You know what I mean? I pretty much had to tell her that, look, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe she was inexperienced, so she just jumped in too quick or whatever. But I literally just pushed her back. She looked at me sideways because it was sudden or whatever. But I had a little. I'm like, whoa, you just scraped my thing, man. Chill, just go slow.
Yeah, we probably should have renamed this. Like we just said more than six, but while we talking, I just keep coming up more ideas. I keep thinking about more different things, but I think that it's important that you master the clit, you take your time, and you get it tested. Obviously, hair is optional. It all depends on what you want. Watch out for fake squirters. But just enjoy yourself. Sex is meant to be pleasurable. Sex is meant to connect you with that person, and so when you rush through it, you miss a lot of different things.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, with the whole squirting thing, squirting, I've never really met a woman who squirted off of clitoris stimulation. See, with squirting or whatever, one technique that I've learned, and I tried it with an ex or whatever, the guinea pig I was telling you about. We both sat down, we looked at the video how to make a woman squirt, and what you do is, like that whole, like if you're, how that whole rock and roll sort of devil symbol, that rock on symbol.
Yeah, with the fingers up. Yeah.
Yeah, with the two finger, the index and the pinky at the furthest out, while the ring and the middle finger remains tucked in.
I think they call it devil horns. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of make your hand like that, and you take the ring and the middle finger and you put it in to the woman, and you sort of use that to work the G spot or whatever. Like you're saying, come here in a way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And some women, their G spot is located at a certain point where all you have to do is sort of like move. How could I put this? Like you take you form your hand in that way, right? Put it in.
Yeah.
And you sort of move it up and down, like you're performing Morse code, if you will. Yeah, like you're performing Morse code with the two fingers, and then boom, you get it in there. You do that, and if she's relaxed enough, if she's able to squirt, she would. Now, my girl at the time or whatever, she's an ex now or whatever, but at the time, she felt it built up, and a little bit of it came on my finger, the whole squirting. But some women, they'll squirt a lot, while some, it'll just be a few drops or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I should also mention that all vaginas are not created equal. Like, vaginas change from woman to woman. So I've been with women that had like small clits. I've been with women that had big clits, and
that big
have, like, lips that are outward, inward, and it's interesting how they all look different. And once with every woman you get with, you have to master their body. It's a brand new woman. It's a brand new experience. It's a brand new sexual energy. But one thing I will say is, women with bigger clits, I feel like it's easier to stimulate their clits, obviously, because it's more surface area.
Yeah, it is. I remember one woman I came across, boy, her shit was like the size of a Tootsie Roll, man. You know what I mean? Like, not the little small bite-sized one. I'm talking about the longer sort of Tootsie Rolls. And the only thing I had to do was literally massage her back, suck on her breast, and just reach down and rub on her. Like, I'd wet my fingers and just rub on her clit while I was sucking on her breast at the same time. And it was just like, when she came, she just, like, you know how some people, when they sleep wildly or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, when she came, she erupted, you know what I mean? Like, she was like convulsing and throwing elbows and shit when she came or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I literally, like, whenever she came, I'd back up so I won't catch a hand to the face.
Mm-hmm. You ever give like a vagina a nickname?
Nah, I usually just leave that to the females. Like, what you call your stuff? That way I know what to call it when I'm beating it up.
I've heard like women have like nicknames for their vaginas, like Little Princess and like Blueberry Muffin and Hot Spot and all types of different crazy shit like that.
Yeah, most women I come across, they always try to give their shit a little cute name because I guess they want to give the illusion that their stuff is tight. Like one girl, she was like, my stuff is called Chi Chi, and then another girl, she was like, my stuff is called Kitten, and then one girl, she was saying that her stuff was called Dynasty.
Dang.
Like, this one like, nah, this is when Jay-Z and them was hot, and that whole La Rock Familia Dynasty symbol that they
Oh,
were throwing up.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And she was like, she always figured that she was high class and high maintenance, so she called her stuff Dynasty. And I ain't gonna lie, it kind of earned the title. I'm not even gonna front, man. She maintained herself.
One thing you need to realize with giving a woman head is that you need to have jaw stamina. Like you can't just go into it expecting a woman to like come in like a 5 minutes. Women, and this is just from my experience. I know every woman is different, but women take a lot longer to come than men. Like it's men out here that can come in literally a minute. You know, what's that song, 1 Minute Man? It's women that can come out here, in 10, 15 minutes, but like it usually takes a lot longer for a woman to come, from my experience. So I know a lot of guys, man, be like, just fuck it, man. I'm not even gonna try to do that shit. A lot of guys don't even give a fuck. They selfish and they'll come and they'll go to sleep or that'll be it. But if you really want to pleasure your woman, you gotta take your time and you gotta realize that women take longer to build up. That's why foreplay is important. That's why it's important to kiss on her body, make chills go up and down her spine, give her goosebumps, get her wet, all those different things, and then start to give head, start to focus on the clit, start to do all those different things down there. But it takes a lot longer from my experience. Like I know that at one time it took like 50 minutes for me to make a woman come, and I was like, my jaw was on fire. I was like, man, I'm gonna make you come no matter what. Fuck it. And I was like, damn, man, it take a long time to make a woman come sometimes. So you got patience.
This is why I was glad I found out about the frenulum. It's literally right on top of the clit or whatever. Like you see the clitoris, the hood of it, right around it. It's like maybe a centimeter or two just above the hood of the clitoris. You work that along with the clitoris, you will save yourself a lot of time. Trust me on this, man.
From my experience, like the best way to make a woman come is to like either use a toy or use your fingers, maybe one or two of them, and like finger fuck her while you sucking on her vagina or licking on her vagina, like direct stimulation on her vagina, either with your fingers or your tongue, usually your tongue, while finger fucking her. To me that's the easiest way to make a chick come, and that usually works with me anyway, within like 20 minutes or 10 20 30 minutes, and you there, home run.
Yeah, and to add on that or whatever, like if your girl is a freak, like you work the clit with the frenulum at the same time with your tongue. You put your fingers in to work the G spot or whatever, as if you're trying to make her squirt. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to be more advanced or whatever, you could take your other hand and massage her anal, the outside of her anus, like massage it, or if you want to, stick your thumb in there.
A lot of women.
Because the thing about the anus or whatever, the reason why a lot of people deem it pleasurable. See, whenever you take a dump, right? Like it's hurting, in your stomach's hurting, but when it comes out, it feels great. Why? Because there's nerves there, pleasure centers, in order for you to take a dump easier. And that's pretty much what you're kind of stimulating those spots right there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, you stimulate that along with working the clit and the frenulum with the tongue, and then working the G spot on the inside. You do all that at the same time or whatever. In 5 minutes, you're pretty much giving somewhat of a triple whammy orgasm. And that was the technique and move I was telling you about that I know about, and I put all of that in the book that I'm working on with my partner or whatever. You know what I mean?
What's the name of that book again?
The book is called VIP Confessions. It breaks down. We started off with 20 stories of different women that used to be exotic dancers in South Florida. Mm-hmm. And we picked the best 12, and we put those 12 stories in 4 different sections. stiff, hard, rock hard, and yeah, hold up. We put them in 3 different sections. The sections are called. Hold up, I got it right in front of my face. Sections are
You have a release date?
soft.
You have a release date?
Yeah, we should be done by. I should be done with editing and formatting by November. The sections are called soft, stiff, hard, and rock hard, and each story gets more explicit. But along with the stories or whatever, we also give sex tips at the end of the chapter in the voice of the character. Now we have all kinds of extras in it that I'm not going to tell you about. You got to get the book to find out. But yeah, it's bottom line what a lot of these women did in the VIP room to get their money. Now if these women were able to get paid off of these stunts, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that these tips will work in the bedroom, because ain't no man gonna pay for poor satisfaction.
That's true. When that book come out, we need to do a review. We need to have a podcast of that. That'd be pretty interesting to talk about.
Yeah, because what we plan on doing, we're gonna offer it for different workshops and seminars and stuff like that. Because my friend, you know, she's a former dancer, and the seminars and workshops, a lot of them are going to be geared toward regular women, showing them sexy moves, how they, you know, pretty much releasing their inner stripper, if you will, for themselves and for their man or whatever. You know what I mean? And one of the seminars is definitely going to be the sex, showing them how to do the sex tips that are within the VIP confessions.
That sounds good. Sounds like a good thing. Back to what you was talking about before, you kind of touched on anal. I know a lot of black women are not into anal at all. Like, I've tried a couple times. I'm not really into it either. I just did it for curiosity's sakes. But
yeah, same here.
I know as soon as you get to that area, it's just like, that's just a big no-no. And, you know, obviously, it's got to be a painful experience, because it's not really a place, a part of the body that things are supposed to be entering. But I usually stay away from that. I'm not really into anal and all that type of stuff. You know, it's I feel like nowadays it's a big movement with eating ass and all that shit. I'm not into that at all.
Nah, man, see with that's because you know these rappers and stuff like that, they make it sound cool or whatever. And even though you know but with that all started with how the interview with Kevin Gates.
Exactly. And thinking about his coon ass.
Nah, and with Kevin Gates, he was just saying how if he's in love with somebody or whatever, he'll take it that far with him. He wasn't just saying go out there and do it to everybody. He was just saying with his girl. But you know, they heard that part, ran with it, trying to embarrass him and clown him, whatever, because you know how the media do it. Right. But bottom line, you know, when it comes to that, I don't necessarily, you know, dig. I done met a few women. They would, you know, they asked me to do that or whatever, and tried it, and I never really was no fan of it. But whenever when going down like that or whatever, I'll do the triple move. What I explained, put my thumb there, either massage the outside of it, or just put my finger in it a little bit and sort of work it in and out like a plunger, along with stimulating or whatever. I ain't saying try to put your whole fist in it or nothing, but you know, just those areas right there where there's some pleasure senses, along with stimulating the clit while going down there and everything. And trust me, she'll come. But you gotta practice that. You can't just dive in like, oh, I'm gonna pull the triple whammy move. Like, nah, bro, practice.
I've never been into that anal shit at all. I feel like no matter how much you clean your asshole is still gonna have shit in it. That's the way I feel. Like, you can what's it called? You can do an enema. You can clean it out with water, all types of shit like that. Bottom line is, it's still gonna have shit particles in there somewhere. And so, with me putting my mouth on that, you know, I'm just not comfortable with that type of shit. But so, you know, a lot of guys are, and like you mentioned, Kevin Gates. I feel like that was the first time I ever really heard guys like really pushing it. And what's the other dude name? I think Trick Daddy had like a movement with that as well.
Yeah. Nah. Trick was just trying to be funny, trying to jump on the trend or whatever, the eat a booty gang. And he was just trying to be stupid or whatever. You know what I mean? Because you know he has to try to stay relevant. It looked like he's trying to make a comeback. That's what it looks like or whatever. He's just trying to make a comeback and he's jumping on a wave. And you know, Miami, like I said before in the last podcast, was pretty much home with the Freak Nasty. So, you know what I mean? I guess he figured, okay, this what everybody talking about. We in the 305 is Freak Nasty, so it won't look too bad.
This like gonna be the final point that I wanted to mention before we stop, because we've been on this thing for like almost 50 minutes. But the last thing I want to mention is if you are the kind of guy that like eats stuff off of like a chick's vagina, like whipped cream or different types of shit like that, be careful what you put on it, because I've heard of like guys putting like hot sauce down there and all types of crazy shit like that. And that shit will burn the fuck out of some vagina skin. So be careful with that type of shit. Whipped cream is cool, you know. Whipped cream is cool, honey is cool, all that types of shit. But when you get to like hot sauce and Kool-Aid and all this type of weird shit like that, man, watch out for that.
Hey, but they just it's just stupid, man. I mean, first of all, you know, it's sensitive down there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time experimenting. Now, this is me as a teenager, right?
Yeah.
I took some alcohol, right? Poured a little bit on it just to see how it feel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it stung. That's pretty much that's what you're doing or whatever. You're causing it to sting.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that, man? Put hot sauce on it. I mean, for those who stick to eating meat, leave it to hot wings and other food, man. Don't.
Right.
Oh.
Right. People put all types of shit down there. I've heard of like whipped cream, hot sauce, sugar, honey. I've even heard people put lemon juice. Like, to me, lemon juice is obvious. That shit is gonna burn, you know. Like drinking too much lemonade burns my lips, so I can't even imagine putting some damn lemonade in your coochie. Like, that shit's gonna be on. You should be on fire.
I figure anything as acidic.
Right.
I mean, even with Dutch, don't they have to put water in order to dilute the vinegar?
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
So why would you put the raw material, if you will, without diluting it into your body? I mean, come on now, you asking to burn and dehydrate the vaginal area.
Right. I mean, I've heard of women liking a little pain. Mostly like white women tend to like that from my experiences. White women are into that kind of thing. Like, they like for example, you ever seen those type of BDSM porns where they like get a damn clothes, what's it called? Little clothes hanger thing, clothespin, and they clip it on the clit and shit like that.
Yeah.
Some women like pain. I mean, some people are into that. I'm not into that. If the shit hurt, I want to stop. And I know a lot of black women are like that. If the shit is hurting, they want to stop. You know, obviously not all black women are like that, but I know as soon as they feel some type of pain, they off. They done. That's it. And so be careful what you put down there, and be careful. Just think it through in the beginning. Like, if you've done it before and you've had good experience with it, that's fine. But if you like just experimenting, you might want to just ease back on that and test it out.
Yeah, that whole BDSM thing. Once again, with the research that I've done because of this book, I've come across a dancer or whatever, and she was breaking down how some of the clients, they liked certain forms of BDSM, and with the sex tip part, I had to go out and meet people who are in that community, because believe it or not, that's a whole community behind that, the whole BDSM thing, sadomasochism and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Who's dominant? Who's the dom, aka the dominant? Who's the sub, the submissive? And how it works or whatever. There are people who have whole relationships where the husband is the dom or whatever, and the woman is submissive, and they're like that at all times. So you have to see if they're into that sort of stuff first and foremost, and if they are, then it's all on you, and you have to explain how far you're willing to take it. If you're not willing to experience that sort of pain, then well, don't dive into it. Don't date them. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And my last point I want to make is that I feel like a lot of black people really don't experiment with sex. Like we are very like vanilla with it. Like we're very basic with sex in a lot of sense. Like we'll do certain things, but once you get to the Kama Sutra type stuff, like really getting into stimulating different parts of the vagina and really getting into like sexual energy and things like that, we really just kind of differ off of that. We just kind of walk away from that. But I think it's important that you be with a partner that's willing to explore and really willing to test different things out so you can see what you like. Because if you never try anything, you'll never know if you like it. You know, some things out here, you know, it's some shit I would never really try. Like, I was with a chick one time and she was like, well, my last boyfriend let me put my finger in his ass. I'm like, I ain't into that shit. You know,
Ooh,
I'm not into that shit at all. But
nah, that's violation.
Right, that's to me, that's some homosexual type shit. You know, I know, and I'm not knocking guys who are into that, because I'm not saying every guy who does that is homosexual, but that type of shit is a complete turn off to me. But my point is just to get with a partner that is willing to explore at least a little bit, you know, within the realm of sex, and to see what, you know, both of you like, see what your urges are and what your stimulations are and what you're really into.
Exactly. See, with that there, it's exit only for me.
Right.
Period. Nothing go. Nah, man. No toilet tissue. That's it. Anything else, you liable to get shot trying me like that. I'm not with the fun boy stuff.
I fully agree, man. That shit is gross in my opinion. But that's pretty much it. That's all we got time for tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to more. We're going to be having maybe one or two of these weekly, so definitely look out for that. Nick, where can they reach you at?
You can reach me on Twitter at Pippin Pens, PIP, N as in Nancy, PENS. Twitter. If you can follow me on Instagram on Pippin Pens _CEO. I have another one called Pippin Pens Amazing Wealth, and a third one where I'm going to be just dropping a bunch of facts. My third IG, like, you know, like Uber facts and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah. Where I'm dropping a bunch of just random facts or helpful hints and stuff like that. Well, it's going to be called Pippin Facts. PIPN space facts. And like I said, just dropping random facts. I dropped one today or whatever, and just, yeah, because I like looking up different things and seeing things that are interesting and sharing it with people. So I definitely want to build that up. And yeah, or you can email me at pippinpens@gmail. Ask me any questions about seminars and things of that nature that we got going, especially with the VIP Confessions book. Right now we have the manual, so you want to be a stripper, comprehensive guide to go from broken on the bus. Comprehensive guide to going from girl next door to pole dancer diva. My bad, I'm crossing up manuals now because there's so many I got planned. Yeah, and with that, the dancer manual is to teach a girl is either to scare women into not going into that world, period, because we breaking down everything what they'll have to face, or B, if you want to go in that world, how to get out in 5 years or less. Cool.
Sounds like an interesting book, and I can't wait to get into that and when it comes out. You can reach me at obviously you can reach me on Facebook, Arturo Holmes, but you can also email me at Arturo Holmes, ArturoHolmez @mail.com. You can always email me and reach me there. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining us. If you're not a part of Black Conscious and Freaky, it's a Facebook group. Make sure you join it. www.facebook.com/groups/Black Conscious Freaky. I think today we reached 2,000 members. If not, we're damn near close. But I think we're around 2,000 members. But anyway, we're definitely a growing group. So definitely check us out. We're growing, and we have interesting topics, conversations, memes, and a lot of different content coming out. So definitely join us. But that's pretty much it. We'll probably have another discussion podcast slash video, whatever you want to call this, next week. We'll probably have 2 next week. I'm not quite sure the topics yet, but I'll post them on inside the group if you're interested. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me, Nick.
All right, man. Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Peace.